Welcome to the Growth Mode podcast, where real conversations fuel real business growth. Hosted by Nina Labbe, media strategist with Salem Surround. Get ready to listen, learn, and grow. This is Growth Mode.
Making the decision to move a loved one into assisted living is one of the hardest choices a family can make. It's emotional, it's personal, and for many it comes with a lot of uncertainty, even guilt. But what if there was a way to provide care that truly feels like home, where your loved one is not just cared for, but genuinely known, valued, and loved? Today, we're going to talk about what that looks like. I'm joined by Leon and Jennifer Sikora, the owners of BeeHive Homes of Crownridge right here in San Antonio. They've created a unique approach to senior care that focuses on a smaller, more personal environment where residents are treated like family. We're going to talk about what makes their model different, how families can know when it's the right time to make a transition, and what it really means to provide compassionate, high-quality care. Leon, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
We appreciate it.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. All right, so I always like to start at the beginning because I always love to understand the why, behind what people do. What inspired you both to open BeeHive Homes of Crownridge and step into the senior care space?
Well, Jennifer has always loved elderly people. Mm-hmm. She just has a way with them. She's volunteered in the past. She had attended nursing school. She's worked in other places, nursing homes and assisted livings. And so she just had that knack. Mm-hmm. And then I have a business background, but I've always worked in most of my career in healthcare and working with doctors and working with hospitals and health systems. Yeah. And I don't know. There came a time when it's like, the rat race of the corporate life. Yeah. And we had some experience. My father was in a assisted living facility for about 3.5 years before he passed. And so we've just observed this whole thing. Jennifer's also spent some time in the real estate world and property management. And so everything just aligned to, what if we had our own facility and we had some real estate and we operated assisted living out of it? And one thing just led to another about 6 years ago. And we made the move and bought the land, and that's how we got started.
I love it. What inspired you both to open BeeHive Homes of Crownridge and step into the senior care space?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was going down the nursing route, and one day I was in the med-surg unit, and I just had quite the day there. And so I was in the break room with my hands, in my head, and my instructor came in. She said, "Jen, what's the matter?" I said, I just want to be able to hold their hand and sit with them and give them some one-on-one care. Yeah. She said, you can't do that as a nurse. You're going. And I said, I don't know about that. And she said, then this might not be for you. That was the best thing she said to me. Yes. Because then we moved into the space where I can spend all the time I want with them. Right. Hug them, kiss them, love them, and, help them live out their last chapter with dignity and grace and happiness.
Wonderful, wonderful. So for listeners who may not be familiar, how would you describe BeeHive Homes and what makes your approach so unique?
I think because we are small, it allows us to see everybody as an individual and not just a number. Yeah. The big places have.
That's so important.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, we've had people for 4 and 5 years already at our BeeHive. They come and they get a community. Right. And it's important.
Yeah.
Oh, we've also had some people, they do refer to us as a unicorn. We our first home is a 16-bed facility, so we know who's coming and going. Yeah. Most assisted living facilities are much larger. They're like hotels. Sure. And during the pandemic years, we never had a resident get COVID.
Wow.
And to our knowledge and what we've been told is we're the only licensed facility in San Antonio that can say that.
Wow.
There's over 200 assisted livings in San Antonio. And we just attribute it to knowing who's coming and going, to running a tight ship. We never even had our residents wear masks. Our staff did, and we took a lot of precautions. But just that small, tight, but professionally operated facility just kind of set us apart.
Right. And that made all the difference.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's get into philosophy of care. So you describe your community as more of a home, than a facility. What does that look like, day to day for your residents?
So, first of all, we don't require our staff wear scrubs because I feel like that's very sterile.
Yeah.
And so they wear our logo T-shirt, and then they can wear jeans or whatever's comfortable.
Okay.
So I think our residents feel more like comfortable, homey that way.
Yeah.
They eat 3 good meals a day. We have awesome cooks there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of activity. I love to keep them engaged. I think that's really important.
Yeah. I agree.
So keeping them engaged, and we have a lot of outside volunteers that come in. We have a high school down the street that comes twice a week. I have piano players and singers, and the college kids are up the road, so they come and see us. So we have a lot of engagement.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We also tell our residents that this is your home.
Yes.
We work here, but this is your home.
Yeah.
And on either end of the spectrum, there are places where somebody may have purchased a rental home with maybe 3 bedrooms. Maybe they're a retired nurse or a social worker and just set up a personal care home. Yeah. But we've had people come to us from those places and say, I felt like I was living in someone else's home. Ooh. I was like living in a bed and breakfast. Okay. And then the people who have come to us from a large facility said, I felt like I was just a number. I had to take an elevator from the 3rd floor to walk a long corridor to the cafeteria, and it just didn't feel homey. So we feel like we kind of hit a sweet spot. Our residents do skew a little older because there does come a time, you're 85, 90 plus. We even have a 100-year-old at this time, and they don't want to walk. They don't want to take elevators and take long corridors, but they don't want to feel like a stranger in someone else's home either. So we just try and hit that sweet spot.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Yeah. Can you share a story of a resident or a family that really impacted you and reminded you why you do this?
Well, that's really hard because that happens almost every day.
Oh, my gosh.
But I think early on when we opened during COVID, we had someone from the neighborhood, a man who was an ER doctor here in town, and his wife had a glioblastoma. And so technically she should have probably gone to a skilled nursing facility, but because we just opened, we took her. Yeah. And her language skills were not, she couldn't put her words together. Everything was kind of backward, but she could sing. So we would sing, You Are My Sunshine all the time. And she could get those words out.
Wow.
And he came almost every day to see her and help. And she made a big impact on us, I think, because she just, we watched her, her happiness as she could do what she could. And so we found that sweet spot and sang with her. And she was probably one of the most memorable ones that we've had.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
She wasn't the typical resident because she was terminally ill. But the husband did come to us and ask us to take a chance on her because they had tried a skilled nursing facility and were not satisfied with the care and the compassion and things of that nature. So that was one of many. I can't share stories because it makes me choke up. I'm a big softie.
I'm sure of it. Yes. Yeah. Well, I love that. I love hearing that. So many families, I'm sure, struggle, with knowing when it's time to move a loved one into assisted living. What are some of the signs they should look for?
Well, I would say there's 2 big ones. One, there comes a time when living in your own home or even with your children isn't physically safe. You're climbing over a bathtub that doesn't have a handrail. You're left alone all day. Maybe you forgot to eat or warm up the food that was prepared for you. Maybe you left the oven on all day long. And then the other would be the lack of social engagement. And we learned from COVID that when people are isolated, it really is detrimental.
That's so true.
And so there comes a time when a person's very lonely at home and they don't have any engagement. They're talking to themselves or the dog or the cat all day, and it takes a toll. So we always tell people, if you come to a point where home is no longer really safe and healthy place to be, that would be a time to consider talking to us.
That's such great advice. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions families have about assisted living? And I'm sure there's a lot of those.
A ton. I think, though, first of all, they feel like all facilities are the same. They're all big. People don't get taken care of. There's a big misunderstanding about assisted living. We're here to help them.
Yes.
We let them, at our BeeHive, we let them do what they can. As much as they can for as long as they can to maintain their independence.
Right.
So I think that really helps them also feel needed and feel like they still have a purpose because they can still do things. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception, is that they think they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Well, and one time I had somebody who was looking into maybe becoming a BeeHive owner on the other side of town. I was asked to, hey, can you have lunch with this person, tell them a little bit about why we're different and so forth. And when I was making some points, this person said, at the end of the day, all you're really doing is warehousing old people.
Oh, gosh.
I was shocked. And yet I can see where that places, mindset. We're just here to, park people in the corner and keep them, sedated. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's
the problem. People create their own perceptions.
Yes. Absolutely.
But I think the industry has that kind of reputation. We have become so honored that the state ombudsman, I thought she had to be impartial. And she says, nope. I tell everybody that BeeHive Homes of Crownridge is my favorite place. She actually placed 4 residents with us who had bad experiences at other places, because it's her job to investigate cases of neglect and abuse and exploitation. And so we are the antithesis of that.
Right. And you seem that way too. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So how do you help families feel confident and at peace with this big decision?
It's hard. It is hard because they feel a lot of guilt. So what I like to say when they come in is you got to give it a couple weeks, at least a couple weeks. Because it's just like going to school. That first couple of weeks is really scary. You don't know anybody. But once they settle in, they do so great. And I think just letting them know we've got this. We've got this, and we'll prove ourselves to you.
Right.
And then you can go on vacation, because so many people, they don't live their lives because they're scared. Is my loved one going to be safe? And then we find families, they leave for 3 or 4 weeks and they come back and everything's fine. So just putting them at ease. We've got this.
Right.
And we want them to do a lot of vetting, a lot of homework. Go to other places.
Okay.
Get the feel, get the smell.
I was just about to ask
the
you about
light,
that.
the vibe. I get contacted and have over the years from reputation management consultants. Hey, I see you only you have 50 5-star reviews. We can triple that or quadruple that. And I said, how? You're going to want all my LinkedIn connections, all my Facebook friends. I don't want reviews from those people. They're all my friends, but they're biased. They're not meaningful. So all of our reviews are from families, from residents, and from healthcare providers, hospice nurses who have been in every place in town, and will say, I actually put my mom here, my mother-in-law here, because this place is different. So we want them go compare and then see the difference.
We just had a family move in. They've been for 8 months looking for somewhere, and they've been to our place several times.
They've been looking for a long time.
A long time, because again, they feel guilty and they want to make sure they finally put her at the BeeHive, and their mom is so happy. They're so happy. So those are the really rewarding moments.
I love that. I love that. I was wondering how that process works. I mean, they just, how they choose where to go visit first. Or
the other thing is we have a lot of older caregivers who have worked in lots of places over the years. And they have come to us and said, this place is different also. And they've been with us for 3-4 years, almost since we've opened. And they're like, I wouldn't work anywhere else. We run a low ratio of caregiver to resident. Right now, it's like one caregiver for 8 residents. The average and even the allowable ratio in the state is 1 to 24. So we have had caregivers who've come to us and said, I used to have 20 plus residents on one phone. And you have 15 minutes to answer a call button. And we answer it in less than a minute. So those little kinds of things matter. And we also treat our staff like family. It's like we're all here taking care of our little abuelitos, and we're... you're our kids or our siblings, and this is just a homey, cozy, family, friendly, fun place.
I love that. All right, so let's talk about differentiation and experience. You've already kind of been talking about what makes, BeeHive Homes, different from the larger ones. You've already talked about that, than the, traditional assisted living communities. Can you walk us through a little bit more of what a typical day looks like for one of your residents?
So they will wake up, go have their good breakfast, and then we'll have an activity of some sort. We have a lot of different, we paint, we do trivia, we exercise, a lot of different things.
Oh, I love the exercise.
Yes, we exercise almost every day. We got to keep moving. They know my little logo. If you don't move it, you lose it. Then they eat lunch, and then they might, take a little rest, and then they'll have some volunteers come in the afternoon. And then it's dinner. And then usually they go to bed a little earlier because they've been up since early. So, and they're tired. So that's a typical day. Enjoying each other's company and having their community.
It sounds fun.
It is very fun.
A couple other things I'd like to mention is that, again, this is their home. We have people that are at the breakfast table at 6:30 with their coffee and watching the news. We have people we serve normally at 8 a.m. Then we have people that don't come out till 9:30 and they skip breakfast. And they just want a piece of toast. So again, it's very accommodating to your lifestyle. It's not very rigid. We do serve our big meal for lunch and our lunch size portion for dinner. They seem to like that for sleeping and digestion. We follow a menu service, but all of our food is cooked, for elderly, as far as caloric intake, macronutrient needs. We're health conscious. We've gotten rid of all seed oils in our kitchen and artificial sweeteners. And so it's just very, very accommodating. This is your house. Do it the way you want to. We're going to cook from scratch. We still shop at H-E-B and Costco, and we make everything fresh. We don't buy prepared foods. So those are, some of the things. Everybody has their own private room with a 3/4 bath. There are places in town where you share bathrooms or share, but our concept is to have your own privacy. Our rooms are about 250 square feet, so it's like the size of a guest quarters in a residential home. We don't want you to have multiple, a little studio apartment, because those are the kind of places where people are isolated in their rooms and they don't come out. Or during COVID, they were shut in. We want people to have a cozy room. They have their own flat screen TV on the wall and direct TV entertainment. But we want them to come out, be a part of the community. We, participate in activities, eat family style in our dining room, sit in the living room. I love how y'all
really think this through. I mean, look at the big picture, as far as like the room size, because it kind of, encourages them to want to come out. I don't let them stay in their room very often. I want them out. Enjoying the fresh air and the sunshine and the light to bright. Of course.
And they have so much to offer. We have had wonderful residents. I'll just give one example. We had a man who you wouldn't even know it. He's going on 100 years old. He was a professor of music at the University of New Mexico. He's won awards and done screenplays and orchestra pieces.
Yes.
And one time Jennifer says, I want you to do the activity today. And we're going to listen to your the score that you created for this thing. And you can tell us all about it. And they just love that.
I'll bet. Yeah.
You have to want to do what's right for them.
Right.
And, when the shoe's on the other foot, too, my parents are passed on. But when they were becoming elderly, my parents were like, when we invited them, would you like to come live with us? Or can we help give you some assistance? Oh, no, we don't want to be a burden on anything. We don't want to be a burden on you. And it's like, they legitimately felt that way. But they were just a worry for us, too, because, we don't know if you're safe, if you're okay. And then sometimes things just force the issue. That's another thing. It's best. We would encourage anybody to get a head start on planning for this and talking it through as a family, because in my parents' case, my mom fell, broke her hip. My dad did start to have dementia. He couldn't be alone. She had to have surgery, a long hospital stay, then a rehab stay, and ended up deciding she wanted to live with her sister. So my brother and I had to find a place for Dad. And luckily that's another thing that led us in this direction, because there are a few BeeHive homes in Albuquerque, where we're originally from, and we placed my father in one of those places, and it was a great experience. And we know those BeeHive owners there, and they're the ones that when we moved to San Antonio, they're like, you guys would be great for a BeeHive home in San Antonio. And at that time, we're like, so that's where it all that's part of it. But it all came together when we decided, hey, it'd be nice to kind of I traveled a lot for work, and now we're empty nested and had grandkids, and we had some money to invest, and what would be the good thing? And then that's when we circled back to, well, maybe that BeeHive thing would be for us. So that's a piece of this story too.
I love that. So on the business side of things, you've really built something so special, and you're expanding. You've got another home that's going to be opening up soon. As business owners, what have been some of the biggest challenges and rewards of building BeeHive homes?
Gosh, the biggest challenge would have to have been COVID.
Oh,
so we found this property in Northwest San Antonio in the community of Crownridge in 2018. It needed to be rezoned. It was very primitive. It was didn't even have an address. It just had a legal description, and so we had to jump through a lot of hoops to get it prepped for even development. We had to go to the neighborhood and say, this is what we're thinking of doing, although we were welcomed with open arms, because a few other potential buyers of the property were run off by the neighbors. They didn't want baseball fields and floodlights and noisiness and stuff like that.
Right.
But then we built it from the ground up, so we had to go through all of the construction and the city permitting.
And it's built on a rock, by the way.
And, had a lot of contour to the land. And then the notion was, even the city, we'd given you these permits. We'd like to see, it's 3.5 acres. So we'd like you to develop this within 5 years. Well, then we got our certificate of occupancy on February of 2020, and COVID hit March of 2020. We had one resident for 3 months before we started picking up more residents because of the pandemic. And then that also slowed us down. Construction costs went up, interest rates went up. So we just started working on the second building. It was our intention to build 2 or 3 of these on our property. So we've been challenged by the whole COVID thing, and that's the way it is. But we've met wonderful people. All of our residents and their families have become the best of friends.
Big thanks again to Leon and Jennifer Sikora of BeeHive Homes of Crownridge for joining me today and sharing such an important and heartfelt conversation. We talked about what makes their approach to senior care so unique, how families can recognize when it's time to seek additional support, and how creating a true home-like environment can make all of the difference, not just for residents, but for their families as well. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a conversation that helps you grow, both personally and professionally. You can reach me anytime at growthmode@salemsurround.com, or you can call me 210-526-3626. Until next time, keep pushing forward and stay in growth mode.
Thanks for listening to the Growth Mode podcast with Nina Labbe. Stay connected, keep learning, and keep growing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time on Growth Mode.
Want to grow your business online and on the air? Right now, when you sign up for a 6-month organic SEO campaign at $3,100 a month, we'll include a free radio schedule, 1 week per month for 6 months to help kickstart your visibility. That's a $5,000 value in radio advertising, designed to drive awareness and leads from day one. Don't miss it. Email Nina Labbe at growthmode@salemsurround.com or call 210-526-3626 to learn more.